This tree is going to look great here.
Did you call 811 to protect your underground utilities?
I can't wait to see these roses come up.
Dig, dig, dig! Wait, we forgot to call 811.
Before you dig, make sure you can. Call 811 to know what's below. It's up to all of us to protect the ones we love.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
Atlanta Motor Speedway as we get ready to go for 117 laps around this 1.54 mile super speedway monster hybrid thingamajiggy. This thing is crazy. It is fast, it is slick, and we are in for some wildness coming up here tonight. It is race number 6 of the Sim500 NC811 Xfinity Series on the Captain Esports Network. We appreciate you joining us here. I'm the Captain. We get you ready to go. Now, this track, it's only been on iRacing for a little over a year, this updated version, but it has brought the fire when it comes to the racing you see at this track. We are going to see side by side. We're going to see 3-wide racing. We're going to see, I hate to say it, yellows, because the series don't usually have a lot, but we're going to see them today. We're going to see loose racing. Cars are going to be everywhere. And we could potentially see a shocking winner, a first-time winner, both, or somebody just make it through mayhem to get to victory lane first here this evening. And if you're looking for some kind of proof of anything can happen at this track, I had to do some thinking today as I thought back to, you know what? We'll find a Sim500 race from the new Atlanta. That might be a great example of what we're going to see this evening. Brian Wortman, you're going to smile after this one, buddy. Let me take you back to October of 2022, a Captain Esports broadcast of the Winter Truck Series season, of course, presented by Transervice. And this happened as Brian Wortman is this truck back here, this red and black truck. Eric Arnold leads up here, and you see there are 6 trucks. This is what happens. Final lap here in Atlanta. Who kicks off the season with a win?
And 3 cars on the top side pushing hard. It's going to be Arnold up at the front of that pack, but they start to lose momentum. Now the bottom side prevailing. Brown in the lead down the back straightaway.
Kevin goes up to throw a block on Eric Arnold. That might have killed the momentum of that top of the bottom lane as Arnold's got to push from the 44 of Campbell.
Side by side as they work their way out of turn 4.
Oh, no!
Down on the wall!
They wreck across the line, and the leader and winner, is it Wortman?
Wortman!
Holy cow! Wortman wins in Atlanta. Need I say anything more of what happened that night? at Atlanta Motor Speedway in that race. Brian Wertman, his first series win from 7th to 1st in a matter of a quarter mile right there in that race. So anything can and will happen. So the best suggestion, sit back, grab some popcorn, and get ready for some racing here this evening at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Let's take a look at the point standings as we enter this evening's race. McMillan coming off back-to-back wins. He leads the points by 48 over Anthony Calantoni. Braxton DeWeese is third. Mike Kelly, Chad Coleman, who is our guest on the Scalicast podcast this week. And my, oh my, did he share some great stories. Heck, he was sharing a great story with me before we went on the air. You can check out that podcast right now on Spotify and on iHeartMedia. We'll get it up on YouTube here after the race here this evening. But Coleman there, 5th in points. Stephen Miles, Scott Simley, EJ O'Rourke, Jose Gonzalez, and Joe Hudson. A reminder, 16 cars will get into the playoffs at the end of the regular season, which, oh, by the way, is only 14 races going into tonight away. That sounds like a lot, but it's really not. 16 drivers get into the playoffs. So qualifying underway here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And one thing I should share with you, Tyler Dalton, he kind of shared this with me a little bit ago, has never not won the pole at Atlanta Motor Speedway on the new track. So if you're looking to place a bet tonight on somebody really quickly, first off, I want to know what website it is because I've never seen one you could do that at. But two, as Tyler Dalton goes 32.67 to the top there, I would like to know who your bookie is if that happens. We round with Calantoni, the Talking Giants Camaro. Down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4, up to the top side here. Going to kind of be a throwaway lap here as Nelson Rivera goes to the top with a 60. As Dalton all the way to the apron. That is legal in qualifying. Hits the bumps and everything. He goes to the top, 32.24. Justin Fuller second. Wesley Donaldson, Glenn Campbell, and Brent Scott right now your top 5. Chad Coleman goes P5. Let's see who else we got out there. Let's go Kevin Brown. Kevin, of course, was leading that truck race that you saw just a little bit ago, the highlights of that. Calantoni slots in P7 as Kevin's throwaway lap. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. This is his throwaway lap, so he's up top right now. Kind of keeping the car wound up right now is what he's doing. Longest way around the track. Remember, 1.54 miles is actually the track distance in the middle. So he's up here where it's about 1.55 miles, or 5.6 if you will. You'll cut it down to the white line here. Take the white flag this time by. And you want this thing to run right on the bottom. Let it drift off the bottom so you can get keep the speed in. You don't want to bring it down with the speed as you turn the wheel. A little drag in the car. Into 3 and 4, right down the line, and then here's when you want to just get down on the apron. Shortest way around. A few bumps there on the Legends Oval. Across the line he goes, and goes P6, 32.27. Gillenwater, 32.25. Great lap there on his end. And who else we got out here yet to run a lap? Here's Braxton DeWeese, the second place guy in points. And he'll cross the line. And Braxton goes P6, 32.27. Here's Justin Reynolds, 000 car. Oh, Jose Gonzalez, 32.24, ties Dalton. And I mean, they're tied to the 10,000th of a second. Of course, qualifying presented by 811. Know what's below, call before you dig with 811. As Reynolds, 32.31, P19. Got a pretty good field of drivers here tonight, by the way. And he's going to lock it up and call it a night. And out of all the drivers who are on track right now, that's going to be it. Tyler Dalton on the pole again here at Atlanta Motor Speedway by the 10,000ths of a second here at the 1.54 mile Atlanta Motor Speedway. Let's step away and let's hear our national anthem on the Captain Esports Network.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, we get ready to go racing for 117 laps. You see Tyler Dalton on the pole as he continues his career record of poles that will likely never be touched in this league. We take a look at the starting lineup for the race. Tyler Dalton, 32-24. I mean, he literally ties Jose Gonzalez for the pole. Bob Gillenwater, Justin Fuller in row 2. Bobby Wetzel, Wesley Donaldson in row number 3. Row 4, there's Glenn Campbell, Braxton DeWeese, P2. Right now in points, Kevin DeBrown and Nelson Rivera in row 5. Row 6, Mike Kelly, Jimmy Coleman. Row 7, Bud Shearer, Anthony Calantoni, Jason Carlavage, and Mike Montesi. Chad Coleman, Matthew Martell, Brent Scott, Justin Reynolds in row 10. Row 11, Alan Wild, Sean Burke, Eric Arnold, and Robert Fryery III there in row number 12. Kevin Stone, Ron Holyfield in row 13. JP Phillips, Stephen Miles, row 14. A lot of these guys here did not qualify. Scott Simley, Trevor Hunt, Tommy Ryan, Randy Yoakum, Doug Sigmund, Jeff Ryan, Gerald Livingston, and Brian Wortman. Race information: 117 laps, 3 sets of tires, 2 overtimes. You see the track temp in 127. That should tell you enough right there. We are going to see some slick racing around this 1.54 mile monster 28-degree banked hybrid of a super speedway that I think is going to spread out just a little bit here. And I think you're going to see some cars getting loose in this race, as probably the smartest man in this room, McMillan, is watching. Not racing, which is unfortunate. I hate to see him not out there, but I think he's in for a good show here tonight. As we go green from Atlanta Motor Speedway, race 6. Our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. As you see them still 2 by 2. As they get up to speed, Gonzalez and Dalton side by side. That's Justin Fuller up there in the 55. That's the 4 of Bob Gillenwater as they cross the line. Lap 1 goes to someone. Oh, you see Fuller already getting loose there up at the top side of 1 and 2. Wesley Donaldson, Braxton DeWeese, and Fuller still getting loose up there. as Dalton's going to clear to the front, but the battle on second, third, fourth, fifth, all the way back, 2 laps in. As Sean Burke on scheduled pit stop, he comes to pit road. Scott Simley is yet to take the green flag. I think he's stuck at the Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. That's why in the flight sim earlier, I flew into the airport off turn 1. Appreciate the viewers watching here so far this evening here for the pre-race. Make sure you can tell your friends about the broadcast and more. Of course, this season I've thrown some shout-outs out to a lot of people, and I want to shout out to the viewers so far. This season has been probably one of the top when it comes to, and one car in the apron back here, Callan Tony. He's trying to save it, and he does. Good save on the 84's part, but I was talking about the looseness in this car. And he's going to go straight to the back. But this season is probably the best season, new viewer and viewer-wise, when it comes to numbers per race I have had since we got back into broadcasting myself back in the 2017 year. So I definitely say, hey, I appreciate it, and let's keep passing the word, because I'm loving what we're seeing here with the new viewers and all the similar viewers that are coming back in to watch each and every week. As they're still side by side with Dalton and Gonzalez up there leading the pack. You just got to be very careful. These cars are on edge. As we're 5 laps in. Bobby Wetzel running on the top side there. That's him in the... This is always a tricky one to say. It's the old Days of Thunder paint scheme, but the City Chevrolet. You say that too quickly, it can definitely come out the mouth wrong. Wetzel off the throttle, entering turn 1 and 2. Scott Simley has arrived at the track, apparently. He's probably stuck in that traffic on I-20, by the way, which is possible. Or not 20, but 75. That can be pretty hectic down in the Hampton area there. So Jose Gonzalez is taking the lead. Up on the top side there, Braxton DeWeese trying to give him the push. You see Wesley Donaldson, 4th car outside line. Bob Gillenwater, 3rd inside. Side by side, it's like the start of the race. Green through 9 laps. I would give it another 6 laps, and that's when this car is really going to start getting evil, as Fuller trying to get the lead here through 3 and 4. And they're coming up on a lap car up ahead there, and I want to say that is Sean Burke likely in the 01 car. And caution is out. Nelson Rivera has gone around in 3 and 4. And Bobby Wetzel, right on the 9 car, has gone around on lap number 10. And that brings caution out for the first time. As we roll that beautiful bean footage and see what happens here. Front straightaway. See Wetzel there, 5th car outside lane. Rivera up behind him there. Oh, Bobby gets loose, and then Mike Kelly gets in the back of him. Rivera nowhere to go. 51 edges into him. And right there is that product of that looseness. Chad Coleman about clobbers to 22. I heard a lot of guys talking about getting out of the throttle you see right there he does. And how can we see how the car snaps around, he catches it, and then just nowhere to go, gets ran over. 00 getting a little bit of it, and you see Coleman getting sideways there. All right, caution out here for the first time. And we'll step away for a quick second here, and we'll come back and get you more racing from Sim500 and the Atlanta Motor Speedway on the Captain Esports Network.
When do you plan on putting in that new fence we've been talking about since last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC 811 app. Know what's below before you dig. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, back we are here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And a caution out for the first time. Wetzel and Rivera unfortunately going around there as Bobby losing the back end there. Big shout out to the viewers watching here tonight. Dennis DeWeese, of course, Chris watching. Chris, I actually got a chance to, I went to go hit Braxton's fan base, or fan channel out or whatever. I was on my captain page, so I wasn't able to like it or anything, but I have to make sure to get back to it. Alan's Art Images, appreciate you watching tonight. Doug Middendorf, Mac McMillan. Mac missed the really good race earlier today. That was on the channel. Aaron Thomas, good luck in the NIS race. I would suggest not losing the draft tonight. Probably a good idea. Chris DeWeese, play ball. It works. It's kind of like shooting a hoop into the hockey net and scoring a touchdown. Yeah, it happens. See McMillan, Aaron Thomas, get you. Middendorf, yep, back. And DeWeese, Bully Dog Coffee Company. Hello to you, sir. Haven't talked to you in a little bit. Of course, he was a sponsor that likes to get out there on cars and stuff. So if you are looking for a sponsor and looks like particularly you're forward, check out Bully Dog. Yeah, appreciate everybody watching. Joe Hudson watching in chat and Facebook. Appreciate you. As we'll come back to the green here at lap number 13. A lot of these cars did not pit, so most of the cars that came to pit road during the caution were cars either trying to get some damage or maybe just wanting to be in the back to kind of ride. So kind of curious to see how the older, I say older tires, but a little bit worn tires are going to run during this green flag run here. As you see Kevin Brown, we ride with the 93. He changed his photo away from the cat, I've noticed. Hashtag bring back the cat. Jason Karlovage up into the top 10 there. You see Mike Montesti there behind him. Talking to these drivers pre-race, the one thing I got from them is that the car is loose everywhere. I was wondering if they went more high side here, like you see Karlovage and these guys running right now. You would think that maybe the car would tighten up a little bit. Excuse me. But that is not the case. It actually gets loose along with the bottom side and almost makes you feel like you're on skates the whole time. So it's just a matter of taking care of the car. And it's not a matter of the right rear wearing. It just almost seems like it gets hot. So Fuller and DeWeese now going to battle up here at the top side for the lead. That 5 car getting closer and closer and closer to getting that first win of his short Sim500 career. Had a runner-up last week at Phoenix. And you can hear the cars kind of lifting going into the corner here, just trying to keep the back end underneath. We ride with Jimmy Coleman. And a car lavage there with him. You see the cars kind of spread out back here. Robert Friary, Montesi, you see Calatoni back there. You see DeWeese has been kind of shuffled a little bit there. This race was originally supposed to be the old Atlanta surface, but after some voting earlier this weekend and late into the week, they changed the fall race, which will be in the middle of the playoffs, I believe, to the old Atlanta surface, as we are 3 wide. Gonzalez getting shuffled up. Hence why you're getting this Atlanta tonight, and you'll get the old Atlanta later on this season. Kind of like that decision. Oh, easy down there at the bottom. Who was that? Was that Brent Scott that got loose in at 33? He's got different colors on that car. Everybody did a good job of kind of deciphering their way through that. Jimmy Coleman there in the 54, and here comes that Talking Giants Camaro. Calatoni got real loose there early in the run. Was able to catch it, and of course, keep himself going in this race. There's the 33 car I was talking about, of Brent Scott. Of course, you've been seeing him in Harry Gant looking throwback. I don't know. The bombshell blowout bar? What in the world? I am scared to look up what that is. I'm just going to put that out there. As we're 2x2 up front still. Fuller in that Camry. Bottom side. We got all of about, well, pretty much everybody right now in this pack. Go all the way back here to Mike Kelly. I mean, here's Stephen Miles back here in the 24th position, riding back here behind the 21. That's actually Simley in the 12. I thought it was Mike Kelly, but the identical paint schemes. But Miles, he's one of those, he will just ride in this race as we ride with him. Got the 21 up in front of him, around Holyfield. Of course, in the Ed Burrell paint scheme, somebody got loose up front there. But look at this mess in front, and you kind of try to miss this. I mean, Miles just kind of rolling off the throttle and just driving the car. That's, I mean, right now there's really nowhere to go. Just hang out. And I believe the rule is in play tonight. You cannot go below that red line and pass at all. All right, front three single file now as Wesley gets clear. Tyler Dalton, there's Glenn Campbell there with him. It's the one track I get a chance to do this at because of just the way this thing races with the weather. We went green about lap number 14, so we're at lap 12 right now of this run. And usually about 15 laps in, that's when it seems like the car just, I don't want to say becomes undrivable, but people start having issues with it. All 36 cars on track. Oh, Fuller getting loose there. You saw that bobble. That's going to cost him a little bit there. He's going to lose at least second. See if that outside line can... So just think about this. Tomorrow, you got the NASCAR Daytona 500 at 4 o'clock, right? And then next week, they go to this track. You better hope some teams don't tear up some stuff. Who was that back there? I saw one car on the apron through two, coming out of turn 2. I didn't see who it was, though. Again, a reminder, the podcast, episode 7, titled The Iron Man, is out, and it is featuring that man right here, Chad Coleman, in the 38 car. He is the Iron Man of this series, start number 1183, I believe, tonight here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, as he talked about his entire racing career, what he's done. Of course, some stats that you might not have caught on the broadcast. He currently is the I don't know what the exact position is. It's in my head, but I can't seem to find it. But basically, he's the guy that, he's like race control at Winder Speedway there. And up, I see some smoke, and wrecking up ahead. And Coleman's going to get in this, maybe. I see Deweese is involved as they switch cameras real quick. And Justin Fuller, the other car. And just a note, I said lap 14, we went green. That was 16 laps. All right, so caution out. Let's see what happens here. Tough break for the 5 car. Second in points. Going to get a piece of this, it looks like. Oh, it just swaps ends. Tyler Dalton gets clobbered. Deweese gets clobbered. And it looks like the 51 gets a piece. All right, so pit stops. And we'll actually pull up Chad here for a second and talk to him. So as we watch the pit stops, when Chad was on the podcast, he talked about his career as what he does there at Winder, of course, Speedway there in Georgia, just outside of Athens. He also talked about his first start in a race car was at that track. If you heard the podcast, it was in a four-banger. It was actually a Mustang that was a race-built motor to make it, even though it was supposed to be a 4-cylinder car or whatever. He talked about that, talked about obviously traveling with his family to different races and things like that. Big Georgia Bulldog fan, you never see him outside without a Georgia hat on. And of course tonight, again, over 1,180 starts in the league. It's your facts to get to know this driver of the 38 car, and we're going to pull him up here in the chat real quick. Chad, of course, just kind of sharing some insight on the podcast as we just got done with pit stops there. Bob Gillenwater getting the race off pit road. But the one thing that caught me off guard, we kind of talked about it off the air tonight, was the story about you racing in a car at your Winder, your home track there of Winder. So you end up flipping the car in the first race. What happens after that?
Then we had a wiring issue.
and then we won some races in it.
So everything that could go wrong at the beginning went wrong, and then it finally went right for you.
Mm-hmm.
So how many races did you end up running with this car?
5, maybe 6.
There you go. Bet you want to go back and do that again, don't you?
I'd love to. It's just now that that deal's kind of falling apart. Like, kept trying to want to make it a series, and it just didn't work out. So.
Hey, there are plenty of great 4-cylinder series out there at different tracks now these days. That's one of the cool things. I had a Flow subscription for the first time last season, being able to see some of those 4-cylinder cars out there running at like Hickory and stuff. That's some of the best racing you can watch.
Yeah, those old enduro days were fun.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey,
This shit right here is loose.
I was about to ask you, how's it going out there?
Yeah, this is it's like trying to hold on to a greased snake going through the corner.
So it looks like about 15 laps. This car just wants to spin out.
Yeah,
That sounds all right. Well, hey, best of luck, and hold on.
that's kind of what we're doing.
All right, buddy. Chad Coleman. Oh, he put it perfectly. Hey, if you want any kind of preview of what the podcast sounded like, there you go. Right there in a nutshell. That's the Scalacast with Chad Coleman. Oh, my gosh. No filter. Love it. All right, so Bob Gillenwater going to lead him back to the green flag here at lap number, what we got, 33. Glenn Campbell second, Jimmy Coleman third, Kevin Brown, Mike Kelly your top 5. And don't tell Bob, but he might have gotten too good of a restart. See if Campbell tries to go around him. Kevin Brown's going to, of course. Kevin getting some help from Mike Kelly there on the top side. Here comes Coleman up there. I'm about to write down an analogy. He said, slicker than what, a snake? And hey, speaking of tomorrow night, Chris mentioning where Braxton's racing at. Well, our big race tomorrow night, the Daytona 500K for Sim500. Of course, the Daytona 500 starts at 4:30-ish. I think the green's supposed to wave tomorrow. I have talked to Joey, and I'm going to go ahead and put this out there to the viewers who, whoa, contact, never mind, let's hold on a second. That's the 90, or the 02 of Bud Shear. That had to go out there and catch it back into the wall and everything. He's got 93 on his car, but the 02 is what he's labeled as here. And that thing has got a little bit of damage on the rear. And he had that thing sideways in the corner of my eye, I saw. Let's we're having a Bud here. Yeah, you get hit. Let me get you another view of this real quick. Here we go. Goes into the corner. Oh, he just gets loose. Oh, hospital hop. Look out. Into the wall. So Bud, unfortunately, with some right rear damage, or some rear end damage, I should say, and he continues on lap 38. Now, go back to what I was saying. With the 500 tomorrow, I've talked to Joey Jatina, of course, the owner of Sim500, and I believe tomorrow night we are going to start a few minutes later than scheduled to allow the drivers to watch the Daytona 500 on TV and then come into practice. Normally practices, and Bud is still loose. He's going to pretty much just put himself on pit road after almost losing it back in the second time. So we're going to have practice as soon as the race ends. I'm not sure of exact times. I'm guessing 8 o'clock maybe will be practice instead of 7:30 and then 9 o'clock-ish race. We'll see. Just be ready tomorrow night. We'll go green after the 500 ends, which you'll think about a 3.5-hour race, maybe 4 hours if it turns into a wreck fest, as usually the Daytona 500 does at the end. So that would get it over with by about 7:30, 8 o'clock. So actually a little later than that, 8:30. So either way, we'll have the race tomorrow night for you. The Daytona 500K coming up tomorrow night here on the Captain Esports Network. As Gillenwater and Kevin Brown as Matt Telder, the co-host of the Scalicast, checking in. Don't you have a race to be? I guess you haven't went green yet, have you? The NIS race. Alan Wild there in the 15 car pushing the 31 of Eric Arnold. Kevin Stone there behind them. They kind of riding here a little bit behind this pack. Unfortunately, Braxton DeWeese has taken his car behind the wall. Is he still in chat here? Yeah, I don't see him. Looks like Braxton has taken off for the night. So unfortunately for him, going to be a big hurt in points. But the good news is the guy in the points lead isn't here either. So could be a lot worse. But tough situation there for the 5 car. Jose Speedy Gonzalez, the smash burger, number 26. See the 91 to the inside there. Wesley Donaldson looking to do something that's only been done in real life less than 5 times. And that is win all 3 of the Clash. You got the Clash, the duels in the Daytona 500K. But in real life, it's only been done a couple of times, and that's win all 3 in one season. And Wesley Donaldson make that his first Sim500 victory on the Cup side tomorrow night, or will Justin, or I'm sorry, getting names mixed up here because I see Fuller's name as I looked at it real quickly there. Brian Macklin, will he make it 4 wins in a row? Which, I mean, even winning 3 in a row is amazing when it comes to racing and that kind of thing, unless you're, like you said, I think the Chili Bowl, a couple of guys have won like 3 or 4 in a row of those things, but Swindell, I think it is. Anyways, as Braxton DeWeese, we get him from the Infield Care Center. Braxton, obviously, tough break there. It looks like your first little hiccup in this series, but if there was anywhere it was going to happen with the slickness of this track, it was right here in this car tonight. Just wrong place, wrong time for you, it looks like.
Yeah, for sure. I was having fun there. It was, you know, some of the guys there were definitely pretty loose. I probably see that on the broadcast, and you obviously saw Justin get loose there. So that just shows you just we're pretty loose there as the run went on, which, you know, that makes it kind of fun because it's like a super speedway package. So I mean, you really kind of have to like throttle it a little bit, and you're still too wide and whatnot. So it's very interesting, and, you know, puts a little sketchiness to it, which, you know, that usually makes it a little fun in my opinion. So kind of upset that, you know, I'm not out there on the track just at least racing. You know, it sucks with the points and whatnot. You know, Mac wasn't here. I know he was in the chat and whatnot. So you know, it could have been a good points day to take over the points lead and whatnot, but, you know, this happened. So it is what it is, and we're just gonna move on and try our best. You know, we're gonna get all of our damage fixed here and just salvage and run around and, you know, see what the car acts like right here, just to, you know, salvage what we can, and we'll go from there and see if we'll keep going or if we'll put her in the garage or not. But yeah, just frustrated, but it is what it is. It happens here.
Is there anything you could do? I know it's hard to kind of answer this because it's like something that may be surprising you with the way this track's driving, but is there anything you can do to prevent? Because it seems like it looks like the right rear is maybe getting too hot or something. It's causing it to get loose, or even the left rear maybe.
just really watching the throttle on entry, you know, making sure you're obviously keeping pace, but just on that limit to where you're not slipping and sliding. So that's what I was kind of doing. I felt pretty good there. I haven't checked my tires, but they were 88, 86 on the right sides, which is the most important. So I mean, that's not too bad, having a 2% difference. Kind of interesting to see what the other guys were up there at the front, but like I said, I felt pretty good there, and I was really just, you know, lifting about, you know, it kind of just depended on what the draft was like, but I'd lift a little bit, and, you know, play it, you know, by ear, and go from there, and just see what I needed to do, and to try to keep the, you know, car going straight. I kind of like the looser setups personally. I feel like I can drive them a little bit better. I feel like I can control a little bit more of what I got going on. So I feel like just being able to have a good, like, consistent throttle on entry and keep it going and slowly getting into it. I mean, if you kind of put the old Atlanta into it, like throttle control into this a little bit, it could help. I guess you could say. I just thought about that, but yeah, I mean, just I feel like the inside lane might be a little bit easier on tires too. Because Justin, he was fine on the bottom. It seemed he was a little loose, but he jumped up to the top and then he got really loose. So I feel like that might be a thing to look at here as the run goes on and as the race goes on in general. So we're about 25 seconds away from getting our damage fixed, so we'll see what we have here.
All right, buddy, get back out there, get some laps, because I'm pretty sure the carnage is not done. Hey, best of luck, and I appreciate your time.
I appreciate it, Chris. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. You too. Braxton DeWeese, appreciate his time. Obviously in a tough situation here. Going to get back on track, log some laps here. As he said, though, a little bit, though. So he said the top being a little more free later into the run. Interesting. But so far, we've held on here. We've got a couple lap cars going to dive off to the bottom here. Yield way to the leaders. Curious question for Alan Art Images there on YouTube, sir. Where are you located? He referenced Napoli's, which is a pizza place. And I just want to check where he is and make sure it's a different Napoli's, because obviously Napoli's a pretty popular name when it comes to pizza placing. So we got roughly 10, 11, 12, got 16 cars in the lead draft. Miamisburg, Ohio. Okay. There's a Napoli's where I used to live in Georgia, down where Chad Coleman actually is there in the commerce area and stuff. I used to be in Gainesville. There was 3 in that location. And that's why I asked how, you know, popular Napoli's, obviously with, you know, Napoli, this over in Italy and stuff. So Miamisburg, Ohio. Where is that, like, in the States? All right, so 54 laps complete. We're coming up on halfway, which would be, I gotta do some math here real quick. 11 minus 12, 58 laps or so will be halfway in this race. Right now we're at 55. We're coming up on, believe it or not, about 20 laps into this run. And talking with the guys here in chat, mostly on YouTube, a lot of the Braxton DeWeese fan club. They're south of Dayton. All right. That helps me a little bit. I've driven past probably your hometown multiple times then, because obviously in the last few months I have moved from Georgia to Fort Wayne, Indiana. And that's where I'm at now. And I've already traveled down to Tennessee once to see family. So that's kind of where everybody's up. Uh-oh. The Giants crew is here. Justin Pennick, everybody. The Talking Giants podcast has joined us. Question is, did Justin go to the Islanders-Rangers hockey game earlier today? As Gillenwater and Kevin Brown side by side up here at the top. This is the longest run now, so now we're really going to get to see how these cars act. And you got to wonder if some people maybe tried a little bit of a fuel game here. Maybe less fuel in the car, tightening it up a little bit. That's a little trick you can do in iRacing and in real life even. Mac McMillan in chat trying to get Anthony Calantoni a nickname, apparently. That's fair, sir. That's fair. If you're a New York Giants fan in chat, make sure you go subscribe to that podcast, part of John Boy Media. It's a cool one. All right, so past halfway. Now you make me want to have fried calamari or something. Something else I've noticed and could be playing a role right now with these cars, the track has a little cloud over it. I'm noticing, you know, now I say that as the sunlight comes out on the front straightaway, you wonder if the track's cooling down a little bit here. And that's where this grip's coming in. You're still seeing a little bit of looseness. Still got about 15 cars in this lead draft. Miles is hanging on to the edge of it. About 1 second back, then Brent Scott's in there. Ron Holyfield at the end of this, and there is a big gap back to these cars of Justin Reynolds, Sean Burke, Tommy Ryan, Trevor Hunt. Of course, Trevor, a teammate to Tom. There's the cameo of Mike Wazowski with no eye. Jeff Ryan in this battle, Doug Sigmund, J.P. Phillips, and more. And forgive me if they wreck during the break here, but we're going to step away for a couple seconds to hear from 811 as we'll come back and get you more racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway on the Captain Esports Network.
What a nice day to install my new mailbox.
Hi there, friend. I'm Dig Safely Man. My job is to ensure you call 811 before you dig.
Why do I need to do that?
Vital utilities like natural gas and electric run just beneath the Earth's surface. Damaging them can cause service interruption, environmental hazards, or personal injury.
I thought only contractors had to call before they dig, so homeowners do too.
Call 3 business days before you dig unless you have X-ray vision. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, just an hour south of Atlanta, Georgia is where the Atlanta Motor Speedway last Hampton, Georgia is the town. And we are green right now, 63 laps in. It's race number 6 of the NC811 Xfinity Series. Horse the Captain with you. Appreciate all the viewers who are watching here tonight and hanging out. And chat, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. If you're not new, we appreciate you coming back and joining us as you see the view of this 1.54 mile track. That's Tyler Dalton, by the way. He's getting off the track and coming to pit road, just trying to stay out of harm's way of everyone and try not to cause any issues. That's Kevin DeBrown, Bob Gillenwater. Glenn Campbell, Mike Kelly. You hear the cars getting out of the gas now. I mean, this is turning into that hybrid part. Let's listen here and go on board. Oh, hold on, Bob. It's a debate that I've talked about already with this track, and now that we're coming up on year number 3 of this track being out when it comes to not only iRacing but real life, is Atlanta Motor Speedway in the Atlanta, Georgia area gets some pretty interesting weather. Of course, this year it's been a little warmer like it has in many places been for winter, and you wonder if that might not hurt the track as much, but sometimes in Atlanta you get those ice storms or you'll get some pretty crappy weather in that area. And then it gets obviously really hot during the summertime. And that's what causes this track to wear out. And if you go back and watch some of the qualifying laps, I remember watching a Dale Jr. lap, I think it was from 2004. You go back to the Kevin Harvick race of 2001, and sorry, I'm reading chat here. This track wears out really quickly. And you saw how patched up the track looked after just 2 years of them trying to keep it smooth, keep the super speedway racing. Eventually, I think they're going to have to stop doing it. And they're going to probably have to go back to a regular racing package at this track. Now, I credit the idea of them trying to make this a super speedway track, but let's face it, this track is going to wear. It's going to lose grip. And eventually, it's going to become Atlanta Motor Speedway again, like it was for, what, almost 20 years. So, oh, somebody's smoking up ahead here. Somebody spun off to the bottom there and got out of the way. Randy Yoakum. I guess it's another way to get out of the way when you're lap traffic, unfortunately. So I bring this up to you guys. I mean, I think next week could be your first example of where you start seeing more of a regular speedway type of race at this track. Even though there's going to be tapered spacers, they don't use restrictor plates anymore. Honey's car up, caution is out. Justin Reynolds has gone around front straightaway. And one of the longest runs we've had here at this track. Almost 37 laps, 38 laps. And caution comes out for the third time. Oh, Dido and Osido does a good job locking it down. Reynolds does. Let's get you a better replay of this. And he just loses the back end over there in 3 and 4, and then he's trying to catch it on the apron, which has less grip, and slides it around. All right, so leader's going to come to pit road. Led by Bob Gillenwater, who's been leading a majority of the race here. Doing a fantastic job. And we did have some cars, it looks like, maybe stay out. Nope, no, everybody did come to pit road. I just misread that. Bob Gillenwater winning the race off pit road. Kevin Brown, Mike Kelly, Glenn Campbell. And somebody put a tin hat on that 4 car. Now, Tyler Dalton, unfortunately, involved in the accident earlier with Justin Fuller. I know he's not going to be too happy of a camper, but I do want to bring him up real quick here and talk to Tyler. You get a copy, bud?
I got you.
All right, bud. I know it's not the night you've wanted to have, but you having the knowledge and the racing experience on iRacing, I wanted to come to you for this question. Obviously, from a race strategy standpoint, we're at lap 72 right now. And we all know the less fuel you put in this car, the more or the better the grip is, especially with the loose race car. Do you expect to see these leaders doing that?
I definitely expect most of the field to have short fueled it. This thing is getting really loose, especially on the longer runs around lap 25, 30 that you saw in the first run. But yeah, I would expect to see a lot of guys short fueling it.
Do you did you feel anything different in the car? I mean, obviously your car was damaged, but were you hearing anything? Especially it seemed like when that cloud came over about 3/4 of the track.
I really couldn't tell you. My right front's pointed the wrong direction.
That's what I figured.
I blew a tire. I actually blew a tire.
Oh.
Because of the right front pointed the wrong direction. So we're hoping, still got about a minute and a half of damage to get fixed left, so hoping for maybe one more caution, get that fixed, and try to get our lap back.
Don't be the caution.
Yeah.
All right,
I'll tell you one thing, it's not loose on entry anymore.
That's fair. Well, hey, sorry to hear what happened there, but I appreciate your time and giving me some knowledge there.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Tyler Dalton, and yeah, it's never good when your tires facing the wrong way here. Let's see if we can get any kind of visual of this. Not loose on entry anymore, he says. Where's the nose cam? Yeah, right front's okay. He did get hit on the left front, didn't he? So he'd probably be over in the left front, if anything. All right, Bob Gilliwater going to lead him back to the green. 73 laps in the books. Going to wait till the restart zone right here on the inside. His choice to take off, and that's when he goes. Kevin DeBrown second, Mike Kelly, Glenn Campbell, Jose Speedy Gonzalez. And you got a couple of aggressive boys hanging out right behind them. At 31 of Eric Arnold. All right, so less fuel in these cars, so now you're playing a game of tightening the car up, but at the same time, you're flirting with disaster if this race goes green the rest of the way. Kevin DeBrown, who is known as a very aggressive pusher, sitting back there on the back of Mike Kelly, trying to get him up to the front. We ride with Karlovage. You get a chance, I want to bring him up sometime during this race. All right, for you Braxton DeWeese fans, I'm going to let you break the news to Mitch, who just joined us in YouTube. Mitch just pulled the awkward moment when you get home from the big game and you realize your team's already down by like 40. We go to the Richmond Raceway next week and get some short track racing under the belt for the Sim500 Xfinity Series. And then we go to Talladega. So we go, check out this pattern. Super Speedway-ish, hybrid super speedway with Atlanta. Short track at Richmond, super speedway at Talladega, short track at Iowa, the monster at Dover, and then another monster in Darlington. That's the next 6 races before we get to Easter weekend at the end of March. Oh, big boys pants gonna have to be on for these races. Cannot wait for those. And then you come back to Daytona after that, after Easter weekend. It is a very tight schedule. We're only a couple months away from the playoffs beginning. Of course, this is all because of the football season, of course, will be here come September. So they try to have the Sunday series done by that point. And a 51 car. Matthew Martell. In that green and white 51 car outside lane right here. He has been pretty close to involved in some of these wrecks tonight. I mean, he's gotten some contact here and there. But here he is surviving, running in the 12th position right now. Christopher Heller joining, who I believe has a start in this league, if I remember correctly. I know there's a lot of names I recognized when I go through the league. and correct me if I'm wrong there, Chris, but I know a few people that you know have starts in this league. As Gonzalez trying to get to the outside, Gillenwater's been having some issues. He's holding strong there on that bottom side. Karlovage, Wesley Donaldson, and also the 44, Glenn Campbell. Kelly's going to go topside here on Gonzalez. These two actually have a little bit of a history. Yeah, that's what I thought. Midnight Thunder still actually around. You can check them out Friday nights. I know they get broadcasted at 11 p.m. when they go racing. I actually have a Friday Night Thunder win myself at Talladega. So I might say I kind of bowled the field, but it happens. Gonzalez trying to control both lines right now. They go around Brian Wortman. We saw the video earlier. Oh, Mike Kelly getting shuffled 3 wide is up the middle because Kevin bringing Eric Arnold with him. Remember the aggressiveness I talked about with some of these cars. Here they come to the front. Check out some of these cars hanging out in the back, waiting to see if the big one's going to happen. There's Kevin Stone, the 21 of Ron Holyfield back here. There's Gerald Livingston having a great run. I think Scott Simley's here so he don't get fined, literally. Started the race, unfortunately, 9 laps down. He's back to 7. Ride with the NC811 number 21. Yeah, we're all in this region. Got South Dayton, Ohio being covered, North Dayton, Ohio being covered, Fort Wayne, Indiana being covered. Oh, Ron's loose. Oh, 3 wide as Kevin gets shuffled by Eric Arnold. Believe it or not, as a couple cars get the wall there. Doug talking about being in Fort Wayne, I believe it is. Bought a 67 Camaro there in chat and YouTube. Doug, there's actually a car I deliver for FedEx over in the New Haven area, which is right off the interstate of I say the interstate, the 469 area, if like you're heading out to, say, Van Wert or whatever. As you see the 77 get loose, there is a car at one of the houses. It's been sitting there apparently for a very long time. A 68 AMC Marlin. Hey, oh, Friery's going to go around in contact with Campbell as he got loose and into the wall. And we're going to stay green because nobody spun out. That's going to break up the pack, though. That's going to make things interesting here now because you're going to have to get everybody teamed up here trying to get the pack and trying to draft back up to that other pack. As Friery takes his car to pit road. So lead pack now with 7 cars in it. And then you got a little bit of a separation back to Glenn Campbell. There's Callan Tony. You see where everybody's at here now. The 51 of Martel, Mike Montesi. And you see that pack is catching the leaders really quickly. Just the difference in a pack of draft at Atlanta compared to like a Daytona or something. If I get a chance to, Chris and you guys, I'll come over to Braxton's Facebook, and I got a photo of it on my phone. Matter of fact, I'm do it right now, as we call the race. Multitasking. Never mind, his page is private. I can't get access to it. 25 laps to go as Gonzalez leads. Pack back up to about 12 cars. As it's going to get bigger because here comes Coleman, here comes Miles, here comes the 00, Gerald Livingston also in this battle. Oh, caution. And there's Alan Wild going through the grass. Look out for the pace car. Don't hit the pace car. As Alan Wild brings the caution out. Justin Reynolds, I think, involved. And caution out again. And pace car's hauling tail. I think he's running from the car's wrecking. Martel's luck finally ran out. Oh, you see him getting loose right there. Oh, into the wall, down into the 15. Oh, ow. That's a lick to the wall. Gets a 00. Uh-oh, money stop potentially here. Everybody's in. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to go for 4 tires and fuel here, and maybe less fuel to make the car tighter here as they race off pit road. Everybody getting into their stalls, and it should be and will be Jose Gonzalez. And then a battle between Gillenwater and Arnold. And according to my timing and scoring, Sean Burke has stayed out in the 01 car. Not sure if he'll come back to pit road or not. But we'll reset and get you ready for the finish here. Coming up to 20 laps to go at Atlanta Motor Speedways. We'll come back and get you more racing here on the Captain Esports Network.
When do you plan on putting in that new fence we've been talking about since last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC811 app. Know what's below before you dig. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, back we are here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Caution out as a wreck there on the front straightaway. get one to go this time by, and the 0-1 has stayed out. Sean Burke going to play the strategy game here. Hit it at lap 71. So he's going to have about 25 or so lap tires here to work with. See if this works out for him, but I think he's going to be in trouble. Some great racing. You're very, I'd say, patient. Everybody's done a good job. It really hasn't been much aggression. It's just been stuff that's kind of out of control with the cars just being loose and stuff here tonight. But I think that's about to get thrown out the window here. As Burke going to lead him to the green here. He's got to wait for the restart zone. There he launches. And a pretty good restart for the 0-1. Here we go. Now let's see how much of a hindrance he is to the inside lane, if at all. He might get the momentum here and be able to hold the lead. Let's see. Arnold giving him the push, all he can here, and now he's going to go to the bottom. He's in the bottom 3 wide. He might have been out of tires, too. That could be something that might have been a factor for the 0-1, so not sure. I'm not going to be one who questions. I'm sure he had a reason behind it. Unfortunately, I don't have the telemetry to tell me if somebody had the amount of tires. It doesn't have that technology yet in these SDK gaming. So it's Gonzalez and Arnold, Gillenwater and Wesley Donaldson. Glenn Campbell, Mike Kelly is 18 laps to go. Tommy Ryan running the fastest lap of the race back towards 17th right now, 30.94. I think he's being patient, just letting these cars potentially wreck out or whatever, waiting on accidents to happen so he can steal some track position and maybe win this race. You get back here in the back, it gets very tough to pass. I mean, Stephen Miles, 5th car inside lane there behind the 6 of Montesi. The 33, Brent Strong there on his outside, and that chrome, black, and red 33 car, and he tags the wall as soon as I say his name. Is Bob Gillenwater out of shape, and around goes Campbell, and this is going to be a big wreck. And actually not as big as it could have been. I saw Miles get some damage, the 4, obviously the 44. Oh no, and more contact. Campbell runs into the side of the 21. I don't think he meant to do that. That looked like the Ford just got shuffled out or something. And you see Donaldson takes him 3 wide. Oh, and they both catch the wall, and Gillenwater gets down there, and Arnold back end comes around and nowhere to go, and there goes Campbell, Kevin DeBrown, Montesi, Coleman gets a piece, Miles gets a piece. We'll slow it down in turn 1 here. You see them both get the outside wall, he and Gonzalez. And that's where Campbell goes around. You see the 93 gets turned with Montesi. Miles going to have nowhere to go. He's going to get a little bit of damage right there. Let's see who else. I think Coleman gets a piece of this also. Right there. Brent Scott nowhere to go as Gillen Waters continues to spin back up the track. Nice job by Trevor Hunt to miss that wreck. 54 doesn't go. Oh, Holyfield, look out. I think the biggest contact of this wreck happens, well, a few seconds later. And I have a feeling this is going to get brought up in the highlight chat later on after the race. Ouch! $14 laps to go. Where have I seen this picture before? The WBD diecast car sitting at the front. Wesley Donaldson, who has won the Clash on the Cup side last week. He's never won a Sim500 Cup race. Won the Clash. Won his duel last week. And now could potentially win the 500. And here he is leading at Atlanta Motor Speedway with less than 15 laps to go. So much interesting going on here. The pace car lights are off. I appreciate all the viewers watching tonight here in chat. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button if you're new. If you're not new, we do appreciate you returning and joining us here this evening in what has been a crazy Atlanta race, as I predicted from the beginning. It was going to be crazy, and it has been that way. Cars been kind of out of control at times. And that's what makes this series fun, is you get a good group of guys who love racing and can put on a show, and they get out here and do just that. And they'll take whatever elements and they race in them. As Wesley Donaldson takes them to the green flag, Mike Kelly, Anthony Calantoni, and Eric Arnold. Two cleared. Let's see if Kelly tries to stay on the right rear. He sure does. As you're going to start seeing the racing pick up here mid-pack. Look back here, JP Phillips in the 20 car. Haven't said his name all night. The Spider car. Tommy Ryan in that 99 up to 13th now. I mean, this is where you see those cars sneak into the picture and win a race. Is 3 wide. Car Lavage. And look at the draft, Jimmy. Oh, Gonzalez gets loose right in front of Montesi. Atomic Burrito is the spotter for Wesley Donaldson in that 91 car, but he's in Daytona. And there's a term I could say here, but I don't want to get in trouble. He's just getting wet, unfortunately. I don't know. You have to ask him where he got that nickname from. I have no clue. Oh, racing picking up. Here comes Chad Coleman to the bottom. I showed you the video earlier, the beginning of the race, before the race actually began, the race of Brian Wortman winning the truck race over a year ago. And what it can do here at this Atlanta Motor Speedway, the racing. And when you got a car and a pack like this, you get through it, you might make it to victory lane tonight. As Donaldson with help from Calantoni. Seven to go. Well, they're 2 and 3 wide, and if you see what I see up ahead, that's not going to be a good thing. Oh, Gonzalez into the wall. Here we go. This is going to be big. Tommy Ryan involved. The 96 gets in it. Jeff Ryan involved. Don't know where it started, but I saw the Smash Burger car all types of sideways. Right there, third car, middle lane. Oh, there's a little bit of a checkup there, and he made contact with Arnold, who got involved. And we have some market breakers. Holy moly, I'm seeing people fly through that wreck. Views in the Rex. I was say the Rex will be out of your view here for a split second. There it is. Kevin DeBrown pushes Kevin Stone around. At least 6 or 7 cars involved. So I'm about to do something very awkward. I see the lucky dog gonna come around. I am not one, again, that likes to totally toot my horn or anything. But I'm finding some irony here with the WBD diecast car being up front. Because earlier today, in the iRacing Daytona 500, I decide to run, and I'm in the WBD diecast car that's Josh Parker's paint. Oh, by the way. And I say this is awkward because I don't like to top myself in type of things like this. But as you see, it's the final lap. And I'm glad you cannot hear the audio. There you go.
Look at that.
Good job, 2-3. You know, enjoy that burnout, bro. That's well deserved.
Tell him you don't get off the horse.
Says the guy that theoretically.
Forget the language there. That's Clark in chat. So there's the number 23 WBD diecast car going to victory lane. Does lightning strike twice in 1 week, in one night? There's something about this sponsorship here that is winning races right now, and I don't know what it is. But can Wesley do it again as we come to the green? With 2 laps to go. Wesley gets a pretty good start. And this is not, by the way, a green-white checker. This is official finish right now, as we're still 2 laps short of the finish point. Wesley's going to have to block both lanes. All right, mayhem's about to break out because we are going to get to the white flag. Final lap. Every man for itself now. Chad Coleman tries to go high. Eric Arnold's in the middle, 3 wide. They're going to go around, and that's going to be a massive wreck. Holy, here goes everybody. Hey, I got more highlight footages for later. Through 3 and 4, does Mike Kelly pull out to make the move? Looking high, looking low. Not going to happen. Wesley Donaldson in the victory lane in Atlanta. There's something about that paint scheme. I don't know what it is. Oh my gosh. Letting Wesley celebrate. And checking the numbers here, I believe it's officially a second win in the series on Sunday nights. Going to check here. Been a lot of drivers to win a race in this series, oh, by the way. But either way, Wesley Donaldson going to victory lane here tonight for the first time this season, at least. So congratulations to him on getting a win. We'll get him up here to victory lane here in just a second as he's going to climb out of the car. And after what has been not the best of luck, a 40th at Daytona, a 39th last week in Vegas, and an 18th at Phoenix, tonight he goes to victory lane at the Atlanta Motor Speedway and did everything he needed to do. As he said earlier today, that this paint must be worth some kind of horsepower advantage, and I'm starting to wonder. I'm really starting to wonder as Wesley go to victory lane here.
Yeah, I mean, it might be worth something at this point. Whatever bad juju it had with bouncing off walls a lot towards the end of last year, I think I passed off to some other people that are running my logo. So, but I'll take it. Whatever's different.
Man, what a race that was. You just kind of hung around the front, and obviously it was almost like a race where you were kind of racing yourself, per se, out there on the track. And you did just everything right tonight, it seemed like, to put yourself in the right position.
Yeah, a lot of it, I mean, it was really hard to go anywhere, no matter what, so you knew you wanted to stay up front. But a lot of it was just managing your tires there. I mean, I knew it was going to get loose. I just didn't expect how loose as early in the run as it did. As in, like, literally first time going into 3, I think, on like a restart, it would kind of kick out a little bit. I'm like, okay, looks like we're lifting every corner. But yeah, it was just a matter of managing. Felt like I did a really good job there throughout the race of managing tires. And then last few runs there, was able to underfuel it a little bit. And I tend to like a little bit of a looser race car anyway, so I felt like I kind of found the sweet spot to where I could pretty much, like that last corner, I drove it in full throttle and it just stuck.
So your previous best finish, according to what I'm seeing here, in this series was a 4th, and it happened twice, at Vegas and Homestead. And tonight you find a way to go to victory lane finally in this series on Sunday nights.
Yeah, this is my my first points race Premier Series win between all 3 series. So it's been quite the few weeks. I hadn't won a race on one of your broadcasts ever up until the last few weeks, and I've been up here 3 times. So.
Right.
But yeah, this series, for whatever reason, has just been kind of tough for me. I either run pretty well or I just get destroyed, and that's really been the tale of this season so far. So I'm glad something finally just worked out.
So is this a sign of things to come? I mean, you've won the duel, you won the Clash, you've won this race. A 500 win tomorrow night?
I sure do hope so. I feel pretty confident between everything I've learned from the Clash and everything, and the dual races, and then even running that race on Thursday. I feel like I know what I need to do. I'm starting up front, hopefully stay up there the whole time, and that's the big one. You want to win that one, so hopefully you can do the same.
Absolutely. Well, you become the 41st different winner in the Sunday night series history. So congratulations on earning that matter. And obviously only doing it in 16 starts isn't a bad way to do it. So congratulations on that. Send some shout outs whoever you like to.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to everybody here at Sim500. It helps put this on every single night that we run. Thanks to 811 for sponsoring the series. Thanks to the Sim500 Mafia for everybody worked together really well during that race, and a special thanks to Anthony for working with me there at the end. During that last, right before that last run went green, I kind of told him, I was like, it's going to be one of us unless something really crazy happens and we get screwed over. So I'm glad at least one of us came out there, and I really appreciate him helping out, because it seems like we're locked bumper to bumper at all these super speedways anymore.
Well, things... no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say things definitely crazy happened at the end.
Oh, yeah. I just... Yeah, and I got to say a little bit of thanks to Mike for taking it easy there, because I feel like he could have been a little bit more aggressive with me throwing blocks like that. But yeah, and last but not least, shout out to my Instagram page, WBD Diecast, where I make custom diecast for real-life paint schemes, iRacing paint schemes, and all that stuff.
So we watched the big wreck in turn 2 there. Great job tonight. Congratulations on the win. And that's a scrapyard right there. Go celebrate.
Yeah, congrats on your win, too. So.
Nah, I appreciate it. You got this one tonight, man. Nice job.
Yep. Thanks, Chris.
Absolutely. As Wesley Donaldson goes to victory lane here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, becoming the, as mentioned, 41st winner in series history here on Sunday nights. If he races back, that was a huge wreck, oh, by the way. Let's get another replay of that real quick before we bring up Mike Kelly. Looked like some net code between Coleman and Arnold right here. Bam. Let's just get what you can get. Wortman, Gillen, Water, at least. I see Arnold obviously is mentioned. Yeah, everybody from there, grab a gear and go get you can get to the finish. Man, let's bring up Mike Kelly in second place finish for him in the number 2 car. Obviously, Mike, great job finishing in the second position. We're just watching a replay of the big wreck there on the final lap. Obviously surviving and pushing Wesley to the win there.
Yeah, I was trying to get to his rear end, and his car was like 65 feet wide going down the backstretch, so I was like, okay, if I can get to his rear, I'm not going to wreck him.
Right.
I'm racing for points, but it's like, since he did that, if I can get to his rear end, I'm going to make him at least
rattle his cage
a little bit. Yeah, but couldn't do it. Had just enough of a run to get my nose up under there, but it was all over. But the crying at that point, yeah, that was a great race. Was able to survive. I had some damage there. I got from just running into the wall when we were running side by side earlier, and then got to give a sorry out to Bobby. I haven't looked at the replay yet, but early on there, like that first yellow, he got really loose in front of me, and I tried to give him the room to gather it up and go to his outside, but then he came back out to the right, and that caused some mayhem. So sorry to anyone who got wrapped up in that, but ran clean the rest of the race. Car was fast, although I did have some damage, so just tried to put the car in the right position there and get a podium, and looking good in the points. Haven't been up here to talk to you since Daytona, so nice to get back on the podium again.
Yeah, great job, obviously, with accomplishing that and obviously surviving. And, you know, once again, you get into a race here at this new Atlanta Motor Speedway, and it comes back to the car being loose and chaotic, if you will, and that kind of thing. I mean, it seems like there's really nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, you know, you'd get 15 to 20 laps on it, and guys that, I mean, even if you saved your tires, it wasn't fun, but guys who ran hard really started to pay for it about that point. And it was really critical to keep your chassis loaded up, and kind of what I was doing was lifting early in the straightaway. And then when I'd get to the corner, I'd get back on the throttle and try to drive it through the corner. Because if you came in the corner hard and just jumped off the gas, it was like you hit a patch of ice. So guys were struggling with that, and I just tried to be in the right place at the right time. Poor Scotty got booted from the race right as we were pulling off pit road. So he's got to give him a shout out. He's having a rough weekend, and that just compounded it. So tough night for him. Good night for me. Seems to be the story of Turn 1 heroes a lot of the time. So we'll move on to next week.
Well, great job, man. Congratulations on that. And yeah, I was wondering if somebody got stuck out in traffic, maybe on 75 coming to the Speedway, because it can be kind of hectic out there in real life. But needless to say, man. What's that? Just not his day, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll happen sometimes, man. Well, great job tonight, and send some shouts whoever you like to, bud.
Yeah, shout out to you, Chris, and Captain Esports Network. Can't wait to go back and watch this one. I know it's going to be jam-packed with action. And shout out to everyone at Turn 1 Heroes, and shout out to all the sponsors, NC811 for sponsoring us on Sunday nights. It's such a great series with big fields and tough, get your elbow up type racing every week. I look forward to it. Shout out to all the admins, and good run by Wesley. I don't know what we're going to do about that guy. He's getting too much confidence. We're going to have to knock him down a couple pegs. And, of course, thanks to the Smoking Hot Wife.
Yeah, boy. Great job tonight, man. Congratulations on P2. And go celebrate. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
Thanks a lot. Looking forward to the big one tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to myself. So that is the two of Mike Kelly finishing in the second position. By the way, Mike Kelly, the one, as he showed me in a video or a thing this week, he was in the one area that apparently, what was it the photo said? You like watched the commercials or something of the big game?
Oh, about me being in Nebraska. We didn't care about who won the Super Bowl. We just want Nebraska Cornhuskers to be good again.
Something tells me that might happen. That the quarterback you guys are bringing in, I've kind of seen him live. He's going to be pretty good. So
yeah, Rayola. I mean, you never know. He could be a bust, but the kid's got good pedigree, and he's at home in Nebraska, and we're kind of actually excited for this year to get here. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight.
Thanks.
All right, buddy.
Have a good one.
You too. Mike Kelly finishing in the second position as we bring up third place Kevin Brown, who obviously survives the mayhem. Hashtag cat photo, by the way, as he's changed it back.
It's about time you pulled me up. It took you long enough to get those in, Reese.
Well, I mean, I had to show the replay of the mayhem on this last lap.
Oh my God! I was just rewatching it back. I was like, "Good Lord, that's a huge wreck."
it was slightly big, but you made it through there and survive and get yourself a third place finish.
Yeah, I mean, survival honestly is the key here because made it through that first wreck, and then I was asking Chad how much damage they had, and apparently, if you don't have a bumper on this car, it sucks, which is the complete opposite in real life. But anyways, so we ended up pitted there, and I was going to work with Miles there, but it looks like he didn't want to go to the front. That's why we pitted. So I just started picking them off one by one, made it through that second to last wreck, and then somehow here we are in third place.
Yeah, I continue to be impressed with Sim Racer Hub, how it continues to upgrade, it seems like every week. And as I look up the new point standings here, I come across some bolds, letters and numbers in chat, or in the page, and two of them involve you, believe it or not, here. Most quality passes tonight, 31, and a driver rating of 109.9 tonight was best in the field. That just was right there in bold, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's cool.
I'll take it, hey.
Well, talk about the obviously it was very loose out there, especially after 15 laps, which I kind of mentioned might happen tonight, and it did. And so it was a matter of trying to almost race the track yourself while being in a pack.
Well, it was kind of weird, though. I noticed everybody else was getting loose, but I really wasn't feeling it as bad as everybody else. I don't know if it was just because I was on the top side most of the run. Because I noticed Chad was talking about it. He was way loose, and I was like, what lane you been running? He's like, the bottom. I was like, huh, I'm not getting loose on the top, and I was leading the lane, and I figured you get more loose with someone behind you. So I don't know what it was, but I wasn't that bad. Only time I really got really loose was staying really behind somebody, especially behind Tyler there at the beginning. That was really bad.
Well, it worked out for you, man. You finished third, and trying to see where in the world you are points-wise. You move up to 21st in points. Obviously, I'm not sure if you're running full-time or not, of course, with what's going on NASCAR-wise and stuff now, but still a good run and a good finish.
Yeah, for now it's full time, unless anything changes. Obviously, anything can happen. And yeah, we missed last week because I don't like Phoenix at all. I'm not a fan of Phoenix. I try to avoid that track as much as I can. And other than that, we really haven't had a good finish since Homestead I think it was Homestead where we won. But other than that, yeah, it's we'll try to clean it up this year.
There you go, man. Well, great job tonight. Send some shout outs.
Yeah, of course. Chris could be painting this beautiful 93 Racing Pride paint scheme. Them coming on again for this season and future season. Maybe might be able to get Wesley to paint me a new scheme with the WBD diecast on it. I would love for him to do that. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Seems to be winning races right now.
I know it. I was telling Chad, I was like, tomorrow, remind me to stay near Wesley because he is knocking it off lately.
Yeah, no kidding on that one. Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. So, Kevin Brown finishing in the third position here tonight as we take a look at the point standings as we go to Richmond next week. In the short track, McMillan still leads the points by 5. He was able to miss a race and still lead the points over Mike Kelly and Anthony Calantoni. Stephen Miles moves up to 4th. Chad Coleman to 5th. Braxton DeWeese falls down to 6th. But all you got to do is get to the playoffs. That's all that matters. 16 cars will make it. Rivera right now the bubble guy by 2 over Josh Parker, Doug Sigmund, Tommy Ryan, Eric Arnold, Kevin DeBrown, Carl Lavage, Ryan Scott, and Livingston. The top 25 there in the points standings. And that's after these results from tonight. If I give him the pop-up here, give me a second. I notice it's over in replay mode here. There we go. Donaldson wins it. Mike Kelly, Kevin Brown, Anthony Calantoni, and Kevin Stone, your top 5 with Miles finishing 6th. Doug Sigmund with a good 7th place finish. Alan Wild 8th. Brent Scott 9th. Matthew Martell 10th with Gonzalez and Jeff Ryan finishing 11th and 12th. Jason Karlovage 13th. Bob Gillenwater 14th. Glenn Campbell 15th. The rest of your finishing order is Glenn Campbell, of course, Brian Wortman, Chad Coleman, Jimmy Coleman, Gerald Livingston, Justin Reynolds, J.P. Phillips, Eric Arnold, Trevor Hunt, Sean Burke finishes 24th, Mike Montesi 25th, Holyfield, Dalton, Wetzel, Shear, Rivera, Tommy Ryan, Scott Simley, Braxton DeWeese finishes 33rd. Randy Yoakum, Robert Fiery to 3rd. And Justin Fuller, the 36 finishers in the race. He requests to see how the 24 made it through. All right, let's show the wreck one more time real quick before we head out. And let's find the 24. Stephen Miles. His real name's Steven. That's how you do it. Just throw a slide job on the bottom down there and you get right around it. Big Daddy, by the way, became a father for a second time this week. All right. So on that note, let's head home. As big congratulations to Wesley Donaldson. Again, tomorrow night, we will be on for the Daytona 500K. The question, though, and we're still kind of putting it together, is what time it'll be. Of course, the one thing Joey Jattina wants to do is allow the field to watch the Daytona 500, of course, which I'm thinking should end somewhere 7:30, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, depending on, obviously, the carnage that'll happen in the last probably 50 laps of that race. So, depending on how that race finishes, will determine what time we probably get on the air. So I would probably guess that we'll see 9 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll be on the air instead of the usual 8:30 for the 500K tomorrow night at Daytona. So looking forward to that. Big shout out to NC811 for being a part of the sponsorship, and a big shout out to all the viewers for watching here this evening. And we are going to head out. And remember, always stumble on your words. And remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation.
From the Captain Esports Network.